Elaine here from MRE Studio Designs, and I'm going to try to include on my channel some tips and some tricks. So today we're working on some tips, and I think I mentioned before in one of my tutorials that you should always check to see how things will react to different colors of uh, clay before you actually use it on your project, because they can come out very different. So what I'm going to do is I have black clay and white clay. They're not baked yet, and we are going to test some different mediums on it. I tried to keep it as close to the same three colors for each one, just so that we know what's going on. So for the paints, I have two different kinds of paints. I have the interference paints from Art Deco. I have gold, magenta, and blue. And we're going to try that both on the black and the white before it's baked and see how those come out. And I also have from Folk Art and Craft Smart a blue, a gold, and a red as well. So we're going to try those. For the mica powders, I have just the Pearl X mica powders in the gold, the blue, and I didn't have a magenta, so we're going to use the red russet, and that's straight colors. We're also going to use some chameleon colors, the golden, the blue, and the magenta. And for the chalk, the pastels, we're going to use a gold, a blue, and a red, just to see how they come out on the different ones. Now we're going to do this the first time on the raw clay, and we're going to bake it and see how they come out. Then we're going to turn these pieces over once they're baked and try them on the baked clay and see how they come out. So here we go. I need to get a couple of things, so bear with me. I will be right back. Okay, so the first ones we're going to do are the paint, and I shook them up really, really well. And we're just going to put a little bit on each one of these little trays. We really don't need a lot. That was probably more than I needed. So we're going to do, this is the blue, and we're just going to put some on here. And on the white as well. This way we'll get to see which ones they work on, which ones they don't work on. Clean that brush off. We're going to have the magenta. Clean that brush. And the gold. Now those were the interference colors. Now we're going to try the metallics. So that takes care of the paints. So now we're going to try the mica powders. The first ones are going to be the Pearl X. Hard. Very nice soft brush. And this is True Blue, it's called. the chameleon colors. And this is just blue. It says blue. This is magenta. And the golden. And then we have our pastels. Okay, so we're going to put these in the oven and let them bake. I'm just going to put them in for about 20 minutes because it's very thin clay, and we will be right back. Okay, so here they are out of the oven, and as you can see, the metallics did quite well. The paint did well. The mica powders did very well as well, but the chalk does not come up on the black at all. So on the white, the interference colors do very little. The metallics aren't too bad, as you can see. The mica powders did pretty well. Although I gotta say that the interference, the chameleon gold comes out more green, I think, than gold in the mica powders. And the chalks look pretty good too. So that is putting them on before they're baked. Now I'm going to turn these over and put some on after they're baked and see how they come out after baking. So we're going to do the paints first in the same order we did them before, with the blue. And we're going to let those dry. Now the mica powders, I'm going to do the blue first, see how it comes out on stuff that's already, already baked, if it even sticks. And it does. It looks like it does. Press it. Now I've never put this on a baked clay before. This is first time for me too, so let's see what happens. If we try to take it off. All right, it mostly comes off. There's a little bit left on there. And the chalks, let's see how we do with the chalks. And I don't even think I need to bother with the black because it's not coming out on the black at all. So let's see how we're doing with the white. We'll start with the chalk on the white. As you can see, it looks like it's sticking pretty well. Red. And the gold. I would say that the white, the chalks would probably just be for a little bit of accent. And because it is dry and it is chalk, either way, whether it's put on there beforehand or afterwards, I believe you're still going to need to seal it with something, as you would probably all of these. So let's try the paints. Blue. Yeah, it's not doing much on the white at all. Red. Again, hardly anything. Now these are the metallic paints, which do come out fine. And the gold. Okay, and let's check out our mica powders. Hey, the red russet looks actually more bronze on there. Let's try the interference colors, or the chameleon colors as well. Doesn't seem to stick on the dry clay very well at all. But what I'll do is I will let these sit, let the paints dry, and then I will put some resin over them, and we shall see how they look. Yeah, even the magenta in the chameleon comes out looking brown on the white. So does the gold. Okay, so we're going to let that sit for a little bit, let them dry. I'll get everything cleaned up here, and then I'll be back to resin them and see how they look then. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are, almost done, and I've now resined over the pieces. So I want to show you the paint first, and this is the paint before it's baked. It came out really nice and bright, but I would also suggest doing more than one coat. As you can see, it's kind of streaky when you just do one light coat. This is the paint with the clay baked. Very similar results. And again, I would suggest doing more than one coat. Here are the paints on the white. The interference colors barely see at all unless you hold it at a certain angle. The other ones, the metallics, came out fairly nice, The blue is an ice blue, so it's not real bright. And this is the colors after it's baked. And again, they did quite well for what they did. And I would again suggest doing more than one coat. Okay, so here is the mica powders. They came out quite nice. I would suggest doing an example or a test piece first before you use them. So as you can see, the chameleon gold comes out a little bit green. Here they are on baked clay. Now, they did stick a little bit, but when I tried to resin them, they all kind of ran together, which, if that's the kind of look that you want, that's fine. If not, then I would suggest using the mica powders on the raw clay first. And here are the mica powders on the white. Again, the gold came out a little bit on the rust side. The magenta came out, depending upon how you look at it, very rust looking or very pink looking. So this is a good example. Again, on the baked clay, they streaked really bad, which, you know, if that's the kind of look that you want, that's fine. And then we have the chalk, which didn't come out hardly at all on the black. So I would not suggest using chalk on the black. Here they are on the white. And here it is after it's baked, which it did stick a little bit, but not much at all. But with the chalk and the mica powders, however you use them, I would suggest sealing them because they will rub off eventually. So that is our tutorial. And again, as I said, if you want to be absolutely sure of how your piece is going to come out, I would take some clay and experiment with the paint or the mica powder or the chalk or whatever you're going to use before you do your piece. And I'm talking from experience. I've used some mica powders that I thought would come out as one color, and after it's baked came out as a different color. So always try to check your mediums first. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and have a great day.